Welcome back to another episode of Coffee Meets Vodka. I'm your host, Rhea, and I'm handling life one shot at a time. Sit back, relax, let's talk all things pop culture, celebrities, gossip, trends, and let's become best friends. What? I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. As you can see, we are a little bit under construction over here. I'm trying out a new set in the house and I bought the wrong size of curtains. So everybody just ignore that. They will be here tomorrow. My bad. But the show must go on. My sign will finally be hung this week too. So next week we're going to have the full set and I think it's going to look so cute. I'm really excited. I feel like it's giving like bedroom sessions. I really like these colored curtains, but I still have the panels. We're going to do it on, this side of the wall, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know this isn't the completed look, so don't let me know now, or maybe do before I spend time, money, and effort on it. I don't know, but even if you hate it, you know what? This is as good as it's going to get. So the show must go on and you're going to learn to love it. Okay. Anywho, some exciting news. We finally have launched our much anticipated, highly anticipated merch. Our hats are going live. Or they're already live, but they will be in this week. So get your order in. Make sure that you've signed up for our newsletter so you don't miss any of the announcements. And get your orders in because literally when I say supplies are limited, supplies are fucking limited, bitch. Okay? And you want to be the one with this limited edition CMV hat. Okay? It's amazing. It's on our website and I'm really excited to wear it, and I think you guys will be too. It's great quality. It's made by Decker Hat Co. here in Houston, Texas, and I'm excited to support a, small local business as well as have good quality hats for you guys. So I think you're going to really like them. So please tell your friends, get them in, get your orders in because they are going really fast. We've already gotten a few orders and I just know that you guys are going to really love them. So hopefully we get a sample in this week and then I can wear it on the show next week so you guys can get more of a idea. But either way, the photos are very accurate. So I would go ahead and order. As always, if you're loving the show, please rate 5 stars anywhere you get podcasts on Apple or Spotify. Follow us on YouTube, Coffee Meets Vodka, and share with your friends. Tag us in social at coffee.meets.vodka on Instagram and TikTok for however long it will last. And I just love hearing y'all's feedback. I love, when you engage me in stories or on comments or in the DMs or even on text and phone calls. Like, I love that. It really warms my heart. Obviously the phone calls, those are my friends, but I am talking to you guys all day, every day in the DMs and I really love it. So please continue to engage, share it with your friends, tell them the hottest new podcast has hit the town, has hit your ears, and they're missing out if they're not listening. Okay, well, let's get into today's episode. Obviously, there's been a lot of change in my life over the last year. I would say probably since last summer. And I feel like the wheels are moving in a forward motion on a better trajectory, hopefully a forward trajectory. Roscoe's coming to say hi. Okay. And I just feel like I can finally be pushing forward. And I think the thing that I have realized lately is, just giving myself grace. Like, I feel like with all this change, I'm somebody who does like change. And with all this change, it is great. But I think a lot of change at once with like significant change to your structure, your everyday life can be an adjustment. And I just think it takes a while to get used to it. So, starting back last year, I moved, then I went to London, then I switched brokerages, then I got on, this new program. for real estate. Then we went to the studio, then we're back at the house, then, Penelope passed away. Now my friend has moved in, which I'm so excited about because a bitch is lonely and I think it's okay to be lonely and recognize that. But I think this is going to be so fun, and that's obviously also why I moved the studio here, because, he needed his room. So I think this is all positive from here. I think it's been a year of just trial and tribulations, and you can only do what's in your control, right? And I don't know that I've handled it with as much grace as I would like, or been as go with the flow as I would have liked, because I feel like I have such high standards when it comes to myself, and I feel like they're never executed and they're never good enough, which is a core belief of mine. And I don't mean that I still believe that, but that is something that's a core, maybe not a core belief, a core wound of mine, that I'll never be good enough. I'm never good enough for anybody else, or nothing is ever good enough for me in terms of work. Work will never be good enough for me. Everything that I execute is it's never up to par. But I do think that we've come so far on this podcast, and we've done it on our own and all by ourselves with really no help, no insight. And, YouTube University has been our best friend. And I'm just so grateful for people who are, creative and can go with the flow and contribute to the team as well. So I just think is going to be such good vibes going forward. My apartment, although it looks like a mess right now, it's going to be so cute and so homey. I kind of want to do an apartment tour. I'm also kind of scared because people are freaks. Have you seen that?
Yeah. And they find out where you live.
Yeah. This one girl, I was looking on TikTok the other day, and she was like, oh, see if you can find me. I have no photo, and my name isn't you'll never know. Bitch, she found her, and under 2 minutes of the video, she's like, well, you commented this, and then on Tumblr, if I do a quick Google search, and then this, and blah, 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 and this old Twitter.
Oh my God.
It's scary. I do love that a woman did that, because I've only seen the guy do that. And I love that women have that superpower, but it's still really scary.
No, yeah. There's weirdos.
But, I'm excited. I think it's going to clear my mind a lot. Also, I want to say on the mental health front, I think this year I've been stressed out a lot. Again, just going back to me wanting everything to be perfect and amazing and executed well, and I'm 32 and I should be, on a different path and blah, blah, blah. And I always have to check myself and say, I am on my path. There's no reason why I should be feeling some type of pressure, because I'm doing exactly what I need to do to be exactly where I need to be. And if anybody else is feeling that way, I love this quote by Taylor Swift, to quote our great Lord and Savior. I heard this years ago, and I always had it on a post-it on my mirror. Maybe I need to bring it back. You're not going nowhere just because you haven't gotten to where you want to go yet. And I really love that, because, life's a journey, not a destination, and it's a marathon. And I just think, the high standards and all these societal norms just really put us into boxes. And especially as a creative, I don't really fit into the local, societal norm box. And I just always have to remind myself. So if you're feeling like that as well, just be easy on yourself, have grace for yourself, realize that you're doing everything in your power to get to where you need to be. And, it'll all work out. It's all good. So, that being said, I just feel like on this last note, my mind has been a little what is it? The Apple Wheel of Death, just a spinny little frozen in time. And I just feel like we're clearing the end of it, and I can finally push forward. So I love that. That's just a little about me. What about you? How are you? When she asked Meghan Markle, oh my God, no one ever asked me how I am. girl.
Oh, I've seen that.
We'll get into the Meghan Markle of it all. Where do I want to start? I feel like we have some like older stories today because like I said last week, obviously I meant to film, but just I got to do what's in my power. We were moving and there was just a lot going on and I wanted to give you guys a good show and not be rushed. So here we are today. So we're just doing a little catch up today. Actually, I'll start with this. I don't really watch Big Brother UK, but JoJo Siwa was on Big Brother UK Celebrity, I think. And long story short, she came out as queer and she said she's not a lesbian anymore, if I'm not mistaken. And she fell in love with this guy who was on Love Island. Big Brother UK guy. Oh, Chris Hughes. Okay, Hughes, Harry, close. I mean, I'm saying she fell in love with the guy. I don't think she did. I think it's like platonic, but they have called each other soulmates. I watched all the clips on social media. It was so funny. I like JoJo Siwa. I think she's a funny character and she loves herself so much. I mean, she really is kind of delusional, but I feel like in a harmless way, so it's okay. And she's an innovator. She's the inventor of gay pop. I mean, an icon, really. And she goes on Big Brother UK and gets really close with this guy named Chris Hughes, who was on, I believe he was on Love Island. And long story short, I guess with Love Island, not Love Island, I guess with Big Brother, you can watch live feed. So like her girlfriend, Kath, was sitting at home watching this go down with Chris and then them just like dancing at like wee hours of the night, like slow dancing and like just being kind of flirty and platonic friends and soulmatey and whatever. I think Chris probably thought of her as like a soulmate sister. And I really do think JoJo probably kind of caught feelings for him. But either way, Kath like broke up with her literally a couple days before, I guess, the Big Brother UK Celebrity ended. And that's so embarrassing and so funny at the same time. But JoJo Siwa will find her way. She's an entertainer, and honestly, I have missed her being front and center of like memes and stuff. Like, I really need her to be like, I wish she would have went to the Met. She would have killed the Met. Don't you think?
Her outfit, yeah.
Something.
It would have been something.
It would have been something. A sight to see.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Met, the looks, a lot of them were misses for me. Some of them were hits. I think Tiana Taylor won the Met. Sagittarius Queen, of course. Thank you. Love you. I loved her red outfit. That one was really good. Who's else? People were saying Joey King. Wait, is that her last name? Joey King?
The
Yeah.
girl from
Kissing Booth? Yeah. People were saying she was winner as well for the Met. The Met theme. Super fine tailoring, black style, dandy style, I believe. Which I think is like I've done a bit of research, not that much, but a bit of research where, it's like a mix of patterns and kind of eclectic vibes. And I wish I would have seen more people take risks. I'll tell you who was the worst dress for me. Kendall Jenner and Hailey Baldwin Bieber. Literally, why did you come? Why did you come? People said the managers at Aritzia. Yeah. Hailey Bieber was in a fucking just blazer.
Yeah. They've had better outfits.
Yeah. I mean, it was beautiful. Beautiful. I mean, it was chic. Like, I loved it. But, like, for the Met, like, I'm a theme person. I love a costume. I love self-expression. I love fashion, but you're probably going to be like, well, you couldn't even, describe the Met. Not in that way, I guess. I like it more of like a self-expression for moi. I'm not like huge into fashion, couldn't tell you about designers or anything like that. And I love people that can. But people who just go like really boring, just with all things, even like the Oscars and well, like Taylor Swift wore that what to the Grammys or whatever, that short homecoming
The
dress.
homecoming,
Yeah, like I mean, I liked it, but it wasn't anything like Oscar de la Renta made a Sherry Hill 2010 homecoming dress. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we talked about it that one time.
Yeah, so I don't know. I love a theme, but there was some amazing looks and but you know, I guess that's the thing too. People were like, we never get to see inside the Met, but I guess Megan the Stallion, I swear to God, at one point her name was Meg the Stallion. I don't know, I guess it wasn't. But she was allegedly posting stories from inside the Met and potentially have gotten banned because like you're not allowed to post. I don't know. I might have misheard that story. Oh my God, come for me. It's misinformation. People are like saying that me getting the story wrong is rage bait. Like, no, sorry. Sometimes I'm just a dumbass, okay? Lord. Okay. The Diddy trial has started last week. They are having a hard time picking a jury. A lot of people don't want to be on the jury. A lot of people have connections to him or obviously know him as, you know, a music influence. But a lot of people are coming up with like wild excuses. I think it's funny because like if I were to be picked for the jury, I would be like, yeah, no, like I went to his house that got raided and probably nobody would believe me. But unfortunately, that's a true story. And I have to tell you, I'm not bragging about this, literally all of my LA stories have aged so poorly. And I think that is such a God thing and such a telling time in my life. So I think you can just kind of tell, like, you know, where I was, what point I was at in my life. And it wasn't great. Some would say rock bottom. But so anyways, his trial has started. Jay-Z was the first to be named in the lawsuit, as well as Michael B. Jordan. And so far that's all I really like. I haven't heard too much about that because it hasn't really started. They're trying to pick a jury. But apparently there has been a sketch. I do hate that this trial is not televised. So they do have a sketch artist, and apparently the sketch artist depicted him as all gray. So he's like really aged in jail. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Meghan Markle was at the Time 100 party a couple weeks ago, speaking on a panel about sprinkled flowers. Don't care. She said, you know, it's just, I think that was when she was like, thank you for asking. Nobody really asked me how I am. And then she's like, you know, I just want to bring a little bit of joy. It was like when that one interviewer asked her, like, oh, like, how, like, do you watch TV? And she's like, well, after we eat dinner and put the kids down and I play a little Wordle and I'm learning French again. And you know, me and Harry talk about probably The Crown. And you know, we scroll on Netflix. Then we can't find anything and then we end up just going to bed. Like, remember when they were like, what are you watching? And she's like, I'm doing Wordle.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I feel like that's so me coded, but like I'm mentally ill, okay? I'm not the fucking Princess Duchess of Sussex, okay? Like, please. Anyways, so she said that she wanted to add a little bit of joy with her flowers. Blake Lively was also at the Time 100, and this girl loves a microphone. She decided to randomly share the story of her mother, who was apparently assaulted years ago when her mother was younger, and her mom was there as well as Ryan Reynolds at this, you know, Time 100. I don't know if they were being honored or what. Oh no, yeah, they were, because the person for Time 100 was like, isn't Blake Lively having a great year? Like, that's why you put her on the list. She's having the best year of her life. Like, hello, are you reading the tabloids? Like, I don't think so. But anyways, she decided to share this story about her mom having, been assaulted and everything like that. And there were no really details given, I guess. But I guess my point is, and that was like everybody else's point, it's like, if this happened, why now? Why this sperm? Like, why didn't you talk about this last year when you were promoting It Ends With Us? You were only promoting florals and your hair care and Betty Buzz, which I do like. But you didn't once mention your mom's domestic violence. And I understand, like, maybe her mom, like, didn't want it mentioned. But then was Blake like, Mom, my career's in the shitter. Like, I have got to mention this. And then the mom was like, okay. I don't know. I just thought it was, like, weird timing. Going back to Meghan Markle. This is the weirdest fucking podcast interview clip that I have ever seen in my life. She was on this lady's show, Jamie Kern Lima, who is apparently the founder of It Cosmetics. Which is that the Sephora brand, or is that its own, is that its own brand?
I think it's
Its own brand.
Yeah, because Sephora has
their Sephora brand.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never bought It Cosmetics. I do like their brushes, but okay. Does she need a podcast? Why must the most uninteresting people have podcasts? Anyways, I didn't know anything about this lady. She, I know everybody's ripping on Meghan Markle, and, that's fine. Whatever. We know she's kind of a fraud. Her and Harry, fraud, hypocrites, whatever. This Jamie Kern Lima lady, scary. I don't know. I mean, I do know she's had too much Botox, but like, she's like, wait, my voice is not even that high. Hold on. She was like, yeah, that's great, Meghan. And then like the way that like her cheeks and mouth, like her face is so square because it's like so shot up with Botox that like her mouth like won't move. So she's like, Meghan, would you say that you're more in love now than ever? She's like, yeah, absolutely. And then she's like, wow, I love that. Like, I thought this was like an ASMR podcast video for a phone sex hotline or something. Like, it was really creepy. And I see why they're friends. Also, Meghan is under fire for using Her Royal Highness title that she isn't supposed to be using. So, who was right? Who was right? Moi. I was right, okay? She can't be using that title. And that's her last name. It's not her last name. It's a motherfucking title. So, I love being right. Prince William has came out recently saying that he's going to strip them of their titles fully because I guess they like got half stripped or whatever with Queen Elizabeth, that they weren't allowed to use the HRH title for commercial use. And because Meghan is so down to earth and that she sent her friend a little ice cream gift basket with jam, but instead of signing it, dash Meghan or like your friend Megs or whatever, she signed it Her Royal Highness Duchess of Sussex. That is so pretentious. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. That is weird. And I think, I don't know if this was all planned. Like, some people have said that Meghan is trolling us. I wouldn't doubt it because I don't know. How can you be that like out of touch and a little like, I want to say something like better than like being dumb. Like, but I'm just like, how do you use that term to like a friend who is obviously a billionaire because she sold her company, and like Montecito neighbors, like whatever. But I would also be so pissed at Jamie if I were Meghan for inserting that photo in the fucking podcast clip, because that's what got her in trouble. And now they're like in hot water with the royal family. And I mean, for multitude of reasons, but having their titles stripped, I think their titles should be stripped. If they are not working royals, like they said when they were in 2020 and they were like, okay, we're just going to be Meghan and Harry, but then all of a sudden the titles like creep back in. So I don't know like what happened there, but William says that he is going to strip them. King Charles is not doing that hot. He has cancer that is, I think it's stage 4. We don't know what kind. The palace has not announced what kind of cancer. And William has also taken over some duties for the royal family and kind of being, like not king in charge, but, like just like a backup or whatever. So he's starting to do some of that. And yeah, I just think it's crazy. Harry lost his case for his security against the UK. The UK is not going to give him or not going to pay for his private security. He's more than welcome to pay for it on his own. He doesn't want to, but he says the UK is the scariest place alive. Meanwhile, he has been all over the world. He has also, when he was younger in his 20s, has done a lot of things in Vegas, tried to escape his private security, was in the British Army or, whatever they call it. And, he's done a lot of things. So like to say that like I don't know who's doing a lot of fear mongering to him, but he's like catastrophizing. Is that the correct word? Like, that it's going to happen to Meghan what happened to his mom. And I just don't, I mean, sure, that could always be a possibility for like everybody, but to say that you're never going back to the UK, losing the case and immediately going on a BBC interview to say, I want reconciliation with my family after you sit here and talk shit about them for over 5 years is really, really delulu. Like, Harry, in my opinion, doesn't like get, and I want to say this with a grain of salt. He gets literally 1/10 of a slight pass because he grew up extremely sheltered and has nobody else, that understands his way of life except for his brother William, right? Like no one could relate to him except for William. But other than that, him and Meghan are literally two peas in a pod. They are so delusional. Harry is truly the most delusional, thinking that you deserve private security because you don't want to fund it yourself, but then you're not allowed to go to the UK. You can go to the UK. You're worth millions of dollars, multi-millions of dollars, and you can afford your private security for a couple of days or a week or however long you're in the UK. Like, it's fine. And then to go on the BBC and to say that I want reconciliation and it's up to the king and the king could do an order and say, I demand my son have security and blah, 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 but he doesn't want to be a part of the family. They literally want their cake and eat it too. It's crazy. So anyways, that's the latest with them. I can't, Harry, I can't get over it. Harry is crazy. Taylor Swift has come out with a statement about her subpoena. Let me read it for you. It says, Taylor Swift's team. Swift's involvement with the film was minimal, primarily limited to licensing a song, and that she was not involved in any creative decisions or casting. They argue the subpoena is designed to generate publicity rather than to obtain irrelevant information for the case. Wait, let's see. Let's read the full. Oh, people, here we go. Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. She was not involved in casting or creative decisions. She did not score the film. She never saw an edit or made any notes on the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us until weeks after its public release and was traveling around the globe in 2023 and 2024, headlining the biggest tour in history. True. A spokesperson for the singer 35 tells People in a statement referencing Swift's Eras Tour. I assume that's true pain and we love her. The connection Taylor had to this film was permitting the use of one song, My Tears Ricochet, Given that her involvement was licensing for the film, was licensing a song for the film, which 19 other artists also did. This document subpoena is designed to use Taylor Swift's names to draw public interest by creating tabloid clickbait instead of focusing on the facts of the case. God, I gotta tell you, I am seated and sat. This case, dude, if I were Blake Lively, or honestly, if I was Taylor Swift, I would never talk to Blake Lively again. She also, Taylor Swift, and I don't even think like, I mean, maybe Taylor asked, like, I mean, probably, hey, Gigi, like, I'm going through this thing. It would be great if, like, Blake did this to me. It would be great if I couldn't be seen with her, or, I can't come to your birthday. Or maybe Gigi was like, hey, come to my 30th birthday. And Taylor was like, hey, who's all coming? And then she was like, oh, not Blake, girl, you're good. And she was like, okay, bet, I'll be there. Like, maybe that happened. Like, because the way that Blake Lively has been, like, alienated from all of her friends, to be honest, I am happy about it because I just think that this is not girl behavior. This is fucking weird. People are saying, that women need to be heard, but I think Blake, in my personal opinion, is making a mockery of this. I just feel like there's so much evidence on Baldoni's side to combat all of her claims. And I really, really, really am rooting for him. And I just hope that he wins. I guess they can't settle now, like, or stop this lawsuit, even if they wanted to, they meaning Blake and Ryan, because both Blake and Justin Baldoni would have to settle. And I don't think Justin Baldoni wants to settle. I think he wants to go to court. He wants it to go to jury. He, wants to see this through, and rightfully so. I mean, I was also going to say his Wayfarer, his production company, Wayfarer Foundation, is shutting down. One of the foundations that they support is shutting down, I believe, which is interesting. I don't know if, they're just putting all this money into the lawsuit. I really hope Blake and Ryan don't bleed him dry. And I hope, I think he's suing for about 400 million. Is that 400 million? 400,000? 400 million. Has to be 400 million, right?
It's kind of a lot, though.
Yeah, that is a lot. And then 400,000 seems too little.
Maybe it's 4 million.
Oh, or 40.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's suing for a number, and I hope he gets that. Okay, some exciting Bravo news. Emmy and Will of Southern Hospitality are engaged. Okay, happy for them. I mean, I think you got to find somebody that matches your freak. I think they're perfect for each other. And, if they love it, I like it. Or if they like it, I love it. Whatever it is. The ring is beautiful. They got a People exclusive, so it was definitely planned. She wore heels to the beach. In the words of Paige Sorbo, she wore shoulder pads to the beach. She knew it was happening. I think they got engaged in France or something, or like overseas, which is beautiful. I could be wrong. Either way, a week after they got engaged, when the news broke, they were in France. So that's why I assume that maybe they got engaged in France as well, or maybe they got engaged in North Carolina and then went to France for like a week vacation honeymoon situation. I don't know. I'm so excited for season 4 of Southern Hospitality, though. I'll tell you that much. Great show. If you're not watching, you totally should. It is chef kisses, Vanderpump Rules reboot is going to be coming up. And you know what? I really hate that they're like season 12 of Vanderpump Rules. We don't need season 12. We need Vanderpump Rules reboot season 1. That's what it needs to be called. I don't know. It still bothers me. I'll probably watch at least, one episode just to give it a go. They announced the cast photo recently. It's a huge cast. Obviously, I didn't recognize anybody. You know what I thought the other day? I thought the people who Lisa didn't want to bring back for Vanderpump Villa season 3, I thought they should go work at SUR. Because that way you capture the audience from Vanderpump Villa to go to SUR. Even if it's 1 or 2 people, it's like they're working at SUR, so you have that connection. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, well, I am wrong, but I don't know. Maybe other people wouldn't agree with me to say that that's a good segue, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, RHONY, phony, has been canceled, put on pause, whatever you want to call it. Bravo says it's not canceled, it's put on pause, it's put on the shelf. I could not finish the first season or 13th season, whatever, of the new reboot of Real Housewives of New York. It was so boring, no chemistry. I hated the cast. It just wasn't good. They all hated each other and they're just fighting. Like, where is falling in a bush? Where is, like, going to Scary Island or the boat ride from hell in Cartagena, or, wherever they were, or, where is, like, Kyle Richards, like, white party, and, like, just where is the fun? Where is the elegance? Where is oh, I'm Countess Luann. Don't call me Luann. To, like, when Bethany was like, here's my driver, here's my friend Luann, and she's like, don't call me that, call me Countess. Like, where are those unhinged people? Like, they're just fighting and having podcasts and talking shit about each other, and, like, I'm bored, I'm over it, I'm not into it. So I'm glad that it's on pause because that is boring. Bravo has announced 4 new shows. I'm so excited. Real Housewives of Rhode Island, RHORI for short, Ladies of London, Shahs of Sunset reboot. I can't wait. It's going to be called the Valley Persian Style. It's a working title. I hope they will rename that. Or people are also saying it could be like the Valley. I think it could be like the Valley : like the Valley's its own, franchise in a sense. Like the Valley Vanderpump, the Valley Shaws, like, so I get that. And then also Wife Swap Housewives Edition. I don't know about that, but the other 3 I'm super into. I don't know how this Wife Swap Housewives Edition is going to work. Is it going to be with regular people and, like, one housewife, and then we're going to go from, like, rags to riches? Or is it going to be swapping husbands within the housewives community? And then it's like, how are the wives not going to accuse the other housewife of, like, being like, you want to be with my husband? And I don't know. I was also watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, I've never finished the season or finished the series. Like, I'm caught up. So I'm on season 5, and they're in Anguilla, and Kenya's there with Walter and Phaedra, Apollo, Portia, Nene, some of the guys are there. And she is talking to Apollo and Walter. So it's like Walter, Kenya, Apollo, right? And she's like, okay, I have something to ask you. If you guys would want to have a threesome, who would you want to have a threesome with? And they're like, what the fuck? She's like, no, it's fun. Just answer the question. Kenya, what? Anyways, I don't know that I'm a huge Kenya fan. I think she's a bit necessary. Obviously I'm caught up as to what she did, but I think she's a bit necessary to the franchise because she's so delulu and, like, not a great way. And oh my God, it's just, God, OGs are just hilarious. Anyways, so I'm excited for that. Apparently the Real Housewives of Rhode Island are all friends, and they're all kind of like that East Coast. Okay, here's what I was thinking about Rhode Island. I was thinking about, like, Taylor Swift's song, what the fuck is it called? There goes the gladdest woman I can be seen. Let me see. I was thinking more of Rhode Island, the last great American dynasty Taylor Swift song, okay? Like, kind of very upper echelon, very, like, waspy, very, like, nose in the air, but apparently it's more like Jersey than it is that. So, and they're all friends, and they all have chemistry, and Andy is executive producing it, so he put his name on it, so he, like, really believes in it. So I think it's gonna be good. I'm here for it. We have, how many states do we have? 52? 50? I swear to God, that's like one of those Mandela effects. I swear to God, we had 52 at one point. I guess if you count the territories of Puerto Rico and something else, right? It's like 52. Anyways, okay, we have 50 states, but we have 50 states. I need housewives in all 50 states, and not even states. Like, we could have, Real Housewives of Dallas, Real Housewives of Houston. They won't do Houston because apparently you can't film here. I don't know if that's just a rumor or if that is fact, but If that is fact, that is lame as hell. So yeah, I'm really excited. Apparently they also are testing Real Housewives of Chicago. Hello, I'm wearing my Chicago shirt. I got this at the airport. I fucking love Chicago. I really want to make my way down there this summer. It's like literally already summer. But I also want to like make my way down and like live there, or up, whatever, and live there. I don't know. But now I'm like 32 and scared. So I don't really know. Oh, Hilaria Baldwin has come out with a book. Let me get the name of it. Manual not included. And it's Alec in a box with a bunch of tape wrapped around his body and his hands and tape across his mouth. Fitting, because she's always like, shut the fuck up. Listen to me. Like, that's what she says. Anyways, so she has a book coming out. I'm not going to read it, but she was caught over the weekend having the book literally like this. Like, say that she's like, she was posing for the Paps in New York. Who holds a book like this? Like, you know, you usually hold it, you know, like in your arms, like whatever. But she literally was like holding it out this way and was like, and then you could hear the Paps going, and then he was like, okay, now walk. And then she's like walking across the street with her book out like this. Girl. Anyways, so I thought that was so funny. Okay. Bravo's Love Hotel with Luann, Shannon Bedore, Giselle, and Ashley. I'm fucking obsessed. We're 3 episodes in. They have gotten a new batch of men along with the old ones. Shannon's already freaking out and crying. She's known this guy for 3 days. His name is Earl and the Gator Shoes. She's like, I wouldn't really go for Earl, but you know, we have good conversation and blah blah blah. This is why I think healing is so important. She was like, okay, so they go to this dinner. This is like episode 3. And they go to this, you know, family, you know, cast dinner or whatever. And by the way, they're filming at this hotel in Mexico. So it's hot as hell. Everybody's sweating. But they go to this dinner, and Earl's like, yeah, I don't eat vegetables. Shannon's like, you don't eat vegetables? Like freaking out. She's like, well, I live in California. Like, you need to eat vegetables. And you know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of that one scene of her and David where David's drinking water and she's like, why don't you take your glass upstairs with you? He's like, I don't want to take my glass upstairs with me. I'm drinking the water here. She's like, take the water with you so you'll have a glass of cold water beside your bed. But okay, whatever. And like, they're just fighting and bickering like that. And Earl was like, you're so critical of me. You're criticizing me. Like, why are you doing that? And then Shannon's like making this big deal. And he literally was like, so he said he didn't like vegetables. And then he said that he's never been to California. So Shannon was talking to TJ, and TJ lives in Bel Air, and they were talking about LA, and she was like, get in the conversation, Earl, get in the conversation. And he's like, I don't have anything to add. Like, I'm not in the conversation. I just like, I've never been to LA. I don't know like what to compare it with. And then she like goes at him again, and he's like, why are you criticizing me? Like, just very basic and like kind of calm. And then she tells Luann and Ashley, and she's like crying hysterically. And she's like, Earl is like yelling at me saying, why am I criticizing him? And blah, blah, blah. And they both say that they were triggered by their exes. And Earl has a great story. He is his first wife died of cancer, and they weren't able to have kids. And then his second wife, I believe they did have a kid or two, and then they got divorced. So, but they were together for a long time. Both of his wives, they were together like I think over 10 years. So he can commit, but yeah, Shannon. And then, okay, and I'm not up to date on Real Housewives of OC, and maybe this is my bad, but they do a flashback, and she's having this moment with Joel, the host of Love Hotel. A very vulnerable moment, I might add. And then it just is a little sinister with all of the crazy story rant that he did about how much of like a horrible person Shannon was when she was being vulnerable with him. And he was hyping her up and like, you're a beautiful person and blah, blah, blah. They had like a really sweet moment. So it's just crazy what the foreshadowing, you know, is kind of looking like. So him and Shannon are talking and they do a flashback, or yeah, they do like a flashback. She's like, well, you know, like today is like at 11:59. It's my 1 year anniversary of my DUI. And they do a flashback. And she's like, they show this photo of Shannon with her face bloody. And mind you, we didn't get a mugshot or anything. We only got, you know, this is all that I've seen. We haven't gotten anything. And maybe they've shown more things on, you know, OC like that I haven't seen, but I was flabbergasted when they showed the photo of her bloody face taken the night of her DUI. And then she's like, so they do the flashback of her showing Earl and maybe TJ, or no, Earl and like another guy. They were in the pool talking and Shannon's walking by. She's like, look, at 11:59 today, this is my 1 year anniversary of my DUI. This is what my face looked like a year ago. And it's like, whoa, day 3, you want to show me that? I mean, I'm all for being open and honest and vulnerable, but it was just like weird timing, and maybe like the editing was like that, but also kind of knowing Shannon, I feel like she was like in a, you know, probably vulnerable spot, so she just probably randomly said it. I also think she probably went on the show too soon. Like, I think it's crazy that it only has been a year since her DUI, and she is kind of carrying on like, not like nothing happened, but like she still filmed OC and she still is filming Love Hotel, and we're kind of seeing her work through it in real time, but I just don't see how she's healed enough to, you know, be in a healthy, committed relationship. And again, I maybe that's not for me to judge, and it's not. But, and you know, relationships come in all forms, shapes, and sizes. So maybe, you know, she's on her journey. And I do hope she finds somebody in the Love Hotel, because she said, and you know, me and Bravo Brie talked about it last time, that she said she was married for 25 years, or no, sorry, I made that up. She was married for, you know, to David, and that she's never been in love. And I think that's really sad. Everybody should really experience love, and everybody should, you know, deserve to have that opportunity. So I'm really loving the Love Hotel. Luann is just a hoot. I mean, she is so funny to me, because like, and I do think she is poised, right? Like, you know, whatever. But on this Love Hotel, she is truly like the most chaotic version of herself. She like tries to come in. This was so funny to me. I like rewound it. On the first episode, she like comes in and they're doing their intro, and she's like, you know, I'm Luann, like blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, she's walking down the big like foyer on the hotel, and then the wind blows and her fedora pops off. And she's like, whoops. And like, she tries to be like coy about it. And then she's like trying to light the fire, and then the fire almost burns off her eyebrows again, like it did on Real Housewives in New York. And then she's like, you know, she's telling all these guys, she's like, okay, I need to go talk to this guy and that guy and this guy. And she's like, oh, would you excuse me? And they're like mid-sentence. And she's like, I'm going to go get a drink. And oh, excuse me, I'm going to go to the ladies' room. And then she like never comes back. And they're like, I don't think she's coming back. She is so perfect for the show. Ashley is good for the show too. So is Giselle. So is Shannon. I think the casting is great. I do think Ashley's a bit young, but I guess now watching it, I think it brings a different dynamic to the show, because there are still men that, you know, may want kids. Ashley doesn't know if she wants kids, any more kids. She might want an older man. She's dating a bunch of different types of guys. So she's figuring out like what she wants. And I love all of these women individually. Like, I don't know Shannon too well, but obviously I've watched old seasons of OC. But Giselle, I think is hilarious. Ashley's great. You know, Luann, I mean, top tier. I just think it's a great show. So if you're not watching it, you need to catch up on Bravo or on Peacock. This isn't an ad. Although it should be. So, and then last thing, really quickly, I wanted to touch on this. David Beckham's 50th birthday was last week. And Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola were absent from the festivities, and allegedly it was because Romeo Beckham is dating Brooklyn Beckham's ex.
Oh, I did not know that.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. Out of all the people in the world.
Literally, like, and I know it's like a while ago and he's married, like Brooklyn is married and stuff, but I still think it's the principle. It's your brother dating your ex. She's a little older. Like, I think she's probably Brooklyn's age because, you know, Romeo's the middle. Cruz is the one dating, he's 22 dating a 32-year-old. That's crazy to me. He's dating somebody 10 years older than him. But I don't know. So there's some riff in the Beckham family. I wish they would get their own show, but you know, I think reality TV obviously destroys relationships, and I want them to be together forever, like forever and ever and ever and ever and
He's
ever.
24.
Who?
The girlfriend.
Romeo's girlfriend
Yeah.
is 24, and then he's how old? He's like 20. Maybe he's 22.
He's 22.
Okay, and then Cruz is 21 then.
Yeah, Romeo's 22. Cruz is 20.
20. Okay, and that other bitch is 30 or 29 or 30.
Who?
His girlfriend.
Cruz's?
Yes.
Let me see.
Dating somebody 10 years older. Like 20? He can't even drink.
She's 29. So they're 9 years apart.
29. I mean,
They dated when he was 19. So that's when they had the
10 years. Yeah. So they're like probably 9.5. That's, I'm sorry, 19 and 29, 28. Why am I finding like a 19-year-old attractive? That's gross. Right? Because it's the same with men. It's the same like these.
She's pretty.
No,
Like, you
she's.
can tell she's older. That looks like mom and son.
They've dated for a while, like a couple years now. But it's like men. It's like Bill Belichick dating that Jordan girl. She's 24 and he's 60 or 70 something. It could be his granddaughter. I mean, I guess if like, and that's where I think there's a double standard. Like, I guess as a woman, if you're like dating like a Becca young, hot, whatever, I don't know. I don't think I could do it because I'm not a freak. No. I'm kidding. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but I mean, I just think just because people are legal doesn't mean you should. Right?
Yeah, because what do you have in common with the 19-year-old?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you have in common with the 19?
Like, he's still
They
in college.
just graduated high school.
Yeah.
They just went to prom.
Yeah, like their prom was probably last year. And she's 30 basically.
I feel like if that has to be like you're living out some sort of.
Maybe she likes the thrill of it.
Yeah, like that has to be like you're living out some sort of fantasy. Like you never dated, like Taylor Swift, although age appropriate, but like she never dated the guy on the football team in high school. Like now she is. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I'm trying to make an analogy. I don't know that it's working.
So she's
but
like a mom dating a college student. Like a freshman in college.
I guess that's like Kristen Cavallari dating that 24-year-old. He was like, she's closer to my mom's age than.
Yeah. I mean, they broke up.
They did break up after what, 9 months, 7
Something
months?
like that.
They were so in love.
His new girlfriend's pretty though.
Oh, he has a new girlfriend? What's his
Yeah.
name? I forgot.
I want to say Mark.
Oh, yeah, Mark Estes.
He posted this like pretty girl on his TikTok.
Not on Instagram. I'm so millennial. I'm like
I don't know,
looking
I've
on
only seen it
Instagram.
TikTok.
Let me see.
I don't know if it's still up.
Oh, maybe
Oh yeah, it is.
from Stagecoach or what? I would kill myself.
Her name's Marissa. She's also like TikTok famous.
I mean, Kristen's beautiful, but here's the thing. What are those too hot? They're too hot. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing going on there. You're not having deep conversation. You guys are so conceited and into yourself. You're like, film me. No, film me.
It's
Right?
You know how people are like, I love when hot people date hot people. that's this.
Why do people say that? Because they're both stupid?
No,
Or what?
it's just like people get tired of seeing like
Hot dating an ugly.
Yeah.
Well,
no, but she's really pretty. I don't know. I think she's just a model.
yeah, she is pretty. Look at her body. How old is she, you think? Probably age appropriate.
Yeah, she looks closer to his age.
But if she's 22, she looks older. Like, because he's only 24, 25.
I think she's 22, 23.
Filler girl.
Or, yeah. Because 21st birthday a year ago, so she's 22.
She's 22. The filler kind of ages her, don't you think? Let me see. I mean, she's stunning, sure.
No, yeah.
They look good together.
Yeah,
They look more age appropriate
they
for sure.
complement each
Yeah,
other.
they
Because
complement
he's
each other.
24, so they're only 2 years apart.
I like her hair. The white is like
Yeah.
really working for
matches
her.
her.
Yeah. Eyes are stunning.
So that's better.
He's cute.
It's only a 2-year difference.
Yeah. No,
So
definitely better. They complement each other. Yeah, they're hot.
Yeah, that came out in...
But do you think here's my thing. Do you think that they're talking about anything?
You know, I think that about a lot of couples. Like, I see people that I know dating somebody, and I'm just like, what do y'all talk about in the car?
I have to tell you, the other day I was getting like random anxiety because, you know, my thoughts be running wild at night. I was getting random anxiety and I'm like, so like dating, like I have to date a boyfriend and then like, or, you know, you see people like date night, you know, like Brittany and Jack. What are we talking about on date night? You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like well, one, I don't know if I've hated all my boyfriends and they've hated me, like totally.
Mhm.
But two, I'm like, if we don't have like anything to talk about, why are we spending? I don't know. What do you talk about? Like
I'm
on
trying to think of-
dates? Like if you already know each other and you're like
Yeah.
dating, like, I mean, you know, you've been together for like 2 years or like a year. Like,
We always just talked about like random things. Like if we go eat, it was just
if I'm not gossiping or if I'm not like talking shit or, which by the way, I'm trying to do less of. Like if I'm not like talking about something or like, you know, aliens or like how the world works or where do we go when we die, like I'm bored. I don't want to do small or okay, now I do love people watching.
Oh yeah.
I love a people watch. But a lot of people aren't good at people watching and making up stories,
No,
like for
yeah.
fun. But yeah, I don't know what people talk about. Like, what do you think their texts consist of?
Hey, you want to film TikTok?
No, and I think it's like, no, you're so hot.
You're like, oh, have you seen this transition? We should try it.
No, no, I think a lot of it does have to do with like things in common like that.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That's their jobs.
Hey, so you and the band should get back together and do the Katy Perry.
Like send him a TikTok. This is a really good idea. Y'all should try this.
Oh my God. And then they're probably like, you know, obviously the sex is probably good, but what are we talking about?
Don't know.
And if you're not laughing, like, okay, there's like, you know, those couples that my favorite trend, couples and friends, but my favorite trend is the one on TikTok with this is what we say when
Oh my gosh.
in
Yes.
their own language. So funny. And I love when like the couples get into it because then I'm like, okay,
Like y'all are fun.
yeah, you guys are fun and you have your own language and like whatever. But that's super rare. And if you're not like that, like what the fuck are you guys talking about all the time? Just your day to day? And then if you're like talking, if you're texting and like calling each other and you live together, you don't ever really need to catch up.
Yeah. And that's just like, oh, guess what happened today?
And if you're not gossiping about like Bob at the office,
Yeah.
you know?
What's for dinner?
I don't know about marriage. I just think for me, like you have to be funny.
Yeah.
You have to. I've thought about that. Like, you know, humor is my number one thing. Like, people are like, oh, you don't want like safety and stuff. No, yes. But like, if we're talking like surface level for, like catching a vibe, you've got to be funny. And then the funny people is what gets me in trouble, because then they have nothing else to offer, which is why they're funny. I went out with a comedian. I meant to tell you guys this, but now I'm bringing it up. So now it's the perfect time to tell the story. I went out with a comedian the other day who opened for Gary Owen. Do what you want with that information. And he was like, okay, so help me write some jokes. I know I'm funny, bitch, but you are getting paid for it. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, like even like a comedian like isn't inherently funny. Like you're not like a funny, like there are people who just understand the craft and can make a joke and can write. And there's people who are just inherently funny. And then the jokes kind of like write themselves around their personality. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like anybody who studies like comedy could be a comedian or could write comedy, right? But that doesn't make you like a funny person.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like the people that have to like sit down and think about their jokes.
Right.
And then there's people where the jokes just come naturally.
Yeah, and then you just have like an ongoing list.
Yeah.
And he was like, so how should I make fun of Houston? And I'm like, babe, you're on tour. You haven't done research?
Yeah, like it's your job.
And I'm like, what do you mean make fun of Houston? I was like, the stereotype of
bad traffic, dirty.
Yeah,
crowded.
like, okay, that's every other big city. Like, there's not really. I was like, you could say that Houston has the hottest girls because they do. Like, everybody knows that. Which I didn't know that, but now we do. I learned that recently. And then I actually saw that on Bow Wow was saying that on Shannon Sharp's podcast. Or Shannon Sharp? Anyways, one of the podcasts. Anywho, now I'm rambling. But okay, guys. Well, do you have anything else to add, Kath?
No.
Do you have a good day?
Yeah.
A good weekend?
Yes.
Okay. Please give us feedback about the set. Although I probably won't take it into consideration, but maybe if it's a good idea. You guys, go out and get your hats. Look on the website, coffeemeetsvodka.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Order your hats. Like I said, while supplies last. I'm telling you. They will go fast. They've already gone fast. We have gotten a bunch of orders. There are limited supplies. So go out and get it. Follow Coffee Meets Vodka anywhere you get podcasts and on YouTube and on Instagram and TikTok at coffee.meets.vodka. Rate us 5 stars and we'll see you next week. Bye.